Good morning, guys. Let's see how many are there. Okay, let me join the others. Okay, we are only what, two participants now. We will wait for 1 minute. It's kind of quite late, but still. Okay, I think I will not wait anymore because already 10:03. I want to complete two numericals today. So let's go ahead and we'll start the lecture. I hope I am audible. Let me just verify that someone reply me whether I'm audible or not. I hope I'm audible. Okay. So today's lecture, we will try to finish the first part of this unit. That is design of the shaft, right? As we discussed, it has two parts. First is the design of the shaft. Then we will be designing keys and coupling. So today is the last lecture, where we'll talk about design of the uh, shaft. After that, we'll talk about keys and coupling. Okay. So let's talk about it. Actually, we have completed the theoretical part. So today I will be taking a numerical on that. So today I will speak for few minutes and then we will work on the numericals. Right. So today I will take two numericals. First is we haven't done the part of design on the torsional rigidity basis, right? And the second is the design on the. Let me share my screen first. Okay. So we will do a numerical on the design on the torsional rigidity basis and design of a hollow shaft. So we'll take both numericals. So in 5 minutes, we'll just try to complete the design based on the torsional rigidity. So what is torsional rigidity? We talked about it, right? It is basically, where we'll use the formula d raised to 4 is equal to 584 mtl upon g theta, or it is basically, it was a formula for theta. We got it from the torsional equation. If you don't remember, using the torsional equation, mt upon j is equal to g theta by L. Then putting mt and converting your angle to from degree radian to degree, we got the equation theta is equal to 584. This equation 584 mtl upon g d raised to 4. Using that formula, we'll do the torsional rigidity, right? So I will take a numerical on torsional rigidity basis, right? In that, basically we'll see basically how we will calculate. It is a continuation of a previous numerical we have taken. So I will basically use the same thing. It's a what you can say 5 minutes extended numerical, where we will do a second part of the design, that is design based on the torsional rigidity. Okay. So let me just open that. Where is my numerical? Let me just open that numerical for you, and I will share the screen with you. Let me first stop sharing this screen, and let me just. Okay. Good morning, guys. So this is where we stopped last time. We found out the radius of. Means this is a design based on the strength basis, right? Uh, we did this design. We found out the diameter. Now we'll continue and do the same design, or the same shaft design for on the torsional rigidity basis. Okay. Let me just share my screen with you, and you guys let me know whether my screen is visible to you and you are it's audible. Okay. Let me just play that with you. The diameter of the shaft required. I hope using the maximum shear stress theory. Now the second part of the problem. So I think the design is complete for the failure in the shear stress because of the torsion. It fails because of the shear, because of the torsion. So the design is the diameter is 42.78. Now there is something called as the
on the rigidity basis, we have to do the design of the basic design of the shaft on the basic torsional rigidity, right? Design. Actually, we have called this design on the basis of torsional rigidity. In the first lecture, we have gone that also. So, we have basically tau T upon J, T upon J is equal to tau upon R is equal to G theta by L. Here theta is equal to mt into mt upon J into L upon G. So this is basically equation, torsion equation we are going to use, and so it comes down to, if we put J is equal to J is equal to pi by 32 d raised to 4 like that. So we do all the calculation and ultimately we will get theta is equal to 584, right? So this is 584 MTL. This is the diameter d raised to, right? D cube d raised to 4. This is the torsional equation. Now, how we have derived this? Theta is in radians. So convert that. We use the conversion from radians to degrees. Mt is the twisting moment. L is the length, right? J is pi by 32 raised to 4, and G is bulk modulus. So right, with this now, d raised to 4 is 584 mt. Now we design on the shaft on the basis of torsional rigidity. So we know mt, we L is given, right? So L is and G theta is given, right? So we'll try to find d raised to 4 is equal to 584. What is mt? 198,943, right? Now then we have to put G, L is G and theta. Theta is given 0.5 and G is also given, right? We have given G. Okay, we didn't write it down, but we have to figure out. Then is basically total length is 1000 upon G theta. G, what is given? G is 79300. 79300 and theta is 0.5. That's what they are mentioned in degrees, right? So now for the torsional rigidity, we will use this formula. D raised to 4 is equal to this 584 into this is mt twisting moment, length G theta. So with that we get the diameter 41.37. So for torsional rigidity, our diameter we got is 43.77, and the diameter we got in previous for the shear stress, value maximum shear stress 42.7. So we'll take the maximum of these two. So final diameter is 42.78. So this is the diameter of the shaft which we will be using for the design, right? So for the approach of the problem, we have to go through basically we need to know the direct stress, we need to know the shear stress, bending moment, we need to know the twisting moment, we need to know allowable shear stress. Then we use the allowable shear stress is equal to tau allowable or tau max is equal to 16 upon pi d cube into mb square root of mb square plus mt square equation. For that we need to know mb and mt, right? And bending moment and twisting moment, we just calculate each point. We will calculate the twisting bending moment, and we will take the maximum of those. And twisting moment is the torque is same throughout. Now from that we will try to come up with the bending SFD BMD bending moment diagram, the torque diagram, and then we step by step we will go and try to find out the D diameter for the maximum shear stress, and then the diameter for the torsional rigidity. And after these two, we will take the whatever is the maximum diameter we will get. So this is the way to approach any design of the shaft problem. Okay.
Okay, guys. So we have seen now how to do the torsional design. Anybody has any doubts, questions here? No, because that completes the torsional rigidity design of a shaft using torsional rigidity basis. We completed that part, and we'll go ahead with now design of a hollow shaft. Okay, so we'll take a numerical on that also. But before that, anybody has any doubt till now? We'll talk about it. Any doubt if anybody is having, we'll talk about it. Okay, so nobody is asking anything, so I assume that I am audible and also you guys don't have any doubt. Okay. So anyway, so what we'll do now, we'll do the design of a hollow shaft. Now hollow shaft, yesterday we talked about it. It is the same procedure whatever we use for the design of a shaft on the strength basis and design of a shaft on a torsional rigidity basis. Only thing is that we have extra factor of 1 minus c raised to 4, where c is ratio of inside diameter to outside diameter, right? If we know the this ratio, or the what is the ratio of inside diameter outside diameter, then we can do the design in the same way using that constant or the ratio. Okay. Okay, let me check my chat. Anything is there? Okay, no, nothing is in the chat, so I am assuming that you guys are okay. Okay, and it's even audible to you guys. So let's now go ahead with the design of a shaft, hollow shaft, right? So basically, what we saw is procedure is still the same. Yesterday we gone through the basic concepts of design of a hollow shaft. We used ratio of inside diameter to outside diameter di upon do is to c. Then we found out the sigma t is equal to 4p upon pi do square into 1 minus c square. This is for the normal the plane stress. Then for the sigma b bending stress is 32 MB upon pi d cube. Generally we get pi d cube, right? So here we will get pi do cube. Do is outside diameter, 1 minus c raised to 4. And then for the shear stress because of the torsion, tau is equal to 16 MT upon pi d cube. Generally we use for the normal procedure. Here we'll use 16 upon 16 MT upon pi do cube into 1 minus c square. Now, if we combine those, we use and maximum shear stress theory or the maximum principal. So whatever we use. So for maximum principal stress, we use sigma 1. Maximum principal stress is equal to 16 upon pi do cube into 1 minus c raised to 4 into bracket mb plus root of mb square plus mt square. And for maximum shear stress, the second part of it, that is tau max is equal to SYT upon factor of safety into 0.5, right, is equal to 16 upon pi do cube into 1 minus c raised to 4. This is extra factor multiplied by root of mb square plus mt square. So we'll use this equation for the design of a hollow shaft on the strain basis. And if you want to do design on the torsional rigidity basis, it will be again theta is equal to just whatever we saw. Theta is equal to 584 mtl upon gd raised to 4 multiplied by 1 minus c raised to 4. So this extra factor will be getting. Okay. So now we have this 9.10 example from the book. We have gone through that. Now I will take another proper example of a design of a hollow shaft. For that I need to close this sharing and I need to share video with you. Let me just share that video with you. Again, if I am not audible this video, let me know in the this thing. Let me just share.
How to design the hollow shaft. Okay. Today we will go through the design of hollow shaft. How to design the hollow shaft. We have gone through the basic concepts of design of the shaft on the strength basis. Then design of the shaft for the torsional rigidity and lateral rigidity. And then we have also seen the design of the shaft for the ASME on the ASME course. And the last part we did is design of the hollow shaft on the strength and torsional rigidity, right? Now today we take a numerical of that, design of a shaft on strength basis but which is hollow. Now hollow shaft, as we discussed, they have some advantages and some disadvantages. So the advantages of the hollow shaft are, advantages of hollow shaft are they are lightweight. For the same weight, they have more strength, or they can take more stress, right? So, and disadvantages is difficult to manufacture. That the cost of the manufacturing is more. But with all those pros and cons, hollow shafts are desirable, right? With some added cost disadvantage, they are preferred. So we'll see now how to design a hollow shaft. Actually, general procedure is the same. On the strain basis or on the torsion rigidity basis, the procedure is same. Only we have one added factor, 1 minus c raised to 4, right? We have seen that in the theory part, that we have one added factor, 1 minus c raised to 4. So now we will see how to design a shaft. For that, I have taken numerical. Let's go through the numerical now. Basically, what it is trying to say, as our general procedure, whatever we do for all the types of problems, we just try to read the problem, and then we will just try to analyze it as we are going through it, right? So now let's try to read and see what we can get, what kind of information we get from the statement of the problem. A hollow transmission shaft. I'm just just to make my sound clearer, I am changing my positions. I am standing more closer to the sound so that it is easily audible to you. A hollow transmission shaft having inside diameter 0.6 times outside diameter is made of plain carbon steel, 40 cm. So in this we have given SYT. So we know SYT and we know this 0.6. What is this 0.6? Is the ratio of inside to outside, inside diameter to outside diameter. Right, so it is di upon do. So first statement of this problem tells us, right? Let's write down what is given. The first thing it tells us, C. It is di upon do. A ratio of inside and outside diameter. Inside and outside diameter of the shaft is 0.6, right? And then we know SYT. SYT is 380 Newton per. And at the next statement is factor of safety is 3. So now we know SYT, right? We know SYT, we know factor of safety. We can find out allowable shear stress, right? For the design of the strain basis, what we will be using a maximum shear stress theory, like tau. So for that we need to know tau allowable shear stress. So with this we can calculate the 0.5 multiplied by SYT divided by factor of safety, right? Sigma T allowable will be SYT upon factor of safety, and the tau allowable will be multiplied by 0.5. So 380 into 0.5, 190 upon 3. 190 upon 3, 60.63.33. So immediately we know allowable shear stress is 63.33 Newton per mm square. We know C. So two things we know from the first statement. Now a bent pulley of 1000 millimeter in diameter is mounted on the shaft. So we have a shaft on which a bent pulley is mounted, right? And what it says now? An overhangs left hand bearing by 250 mm. So basically we have a pulley. It is on this. So this is the bearing, and this is where we have a pulley. So pulley is basically pulling down. So there might be motor downstairs. So we have a pulley which is mounted on a bearing and which overhangs, right? Now. What it says is, now this gives us two information. First thing is the bent diameter of the pulley is 1000 mm, right? So we get R as 500 mm. So immediately we know the radius of the pulley, and then we know the overhang is the length. Length of the shaft is given as 250, right? It overhangs. So it is going this length from bearing to the pulley. This length is given as 50 mm. So we know these two things from this statement. Tension of the tight and slack sides of the pulley are 3 kN and 1 kN. So we know tension on the tight side of T1 we can say is 300, right? 3 kN. So 3000 Newton, and tension on the slack side is 1000 Newton. So we know now tensions on the both sides. So we will use these tensions now to calculate torque. We will see that. So we know tension on the tight and slack sides of the pulley, and weight of the pulley is given W. So we know weight of the pulley as 500 Newton. Right. Angle of gravity is 100 degrees. So theta is 180 degrees. Angle of gravity is 180 degrees. So we don't need to worry about that. Calculate inside and outside time. So this is the problem statement we have. Right. So with the information given, we have to calculate now inside and outside diameter, that we have to calculate DI and DO. We need to calculate. Right? Very simple. It looks very difficult problem while reading we are going through it, but once you analyze it step by step, we will easily know we can do a proper analysis of it. Right? So now, once we get the read the statement of the problem, right? Now we did the analysis. We try to analyze the statement and whatever is given. Now we try to solve the problem, right? Now let's first draw the diagram, right? So this is the diagram. See, for the same problem I have drawn the diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram now. This is the pulley, right? Pulley has tight side and slack side. So this is the which is tight and slack side. This is the radius of the pulley, and this is by 250 it is overhanging. So right, this is the bearing, and from bearing it is outside overhanging by 250 mm. And diameter of the pulley is 1000, so radius is 500. Right? So it's very straightforward. So for this kind of shaft, now this is the load acting on. So this pulley will be angle of gravity is 180 degree, and both tensions are downwards. It is mentioned there, vertical, right? So that means this pulley will be having three kinds of load: load on the tight side, load on the slack side, and the weight of the pulley. So this point will be having three loads: tight, slack, plus weight. And these three will be added together to calculate the moment, right? Bending moment. To calculate the bending moment, we use these three as the load, and then multiply by this distance, we got the bending moment, right? So now from this we know this is the free body diagram. Free body diagram is here is the load. Load is P1 plus P2 plus W. This P1, P2 we mentioned as ET and TS. Tension on the tight and slack side. So P1 the tight side, slack side plus weight of the pulley will be load multiplied by this distance will be the bending moment. So this is the free body diagram. Now we will plot this bending moment diagram and twisting moment or the torque, right? We will plot those diagram as and when we go. Now let's try to solve this problem, right? So we have given information. Now for that we will be using a design of this hollow shaft by torsion rigidity basis. Now what is the formula for that, right? Tau max allowable shear stress is equal to pi by 16 by pi 16 by pi DOQ. Here I said 1 minus 3 into 4 factor will be coming into picture. Root of ND square. It is the same formula whatever we use for the design of a solid shaft on the torsion rigidity basis, right? Only thing is now this new is this factor. This factor 1 minus 3 into 4. This thing is extra for the hollow shaft. Otherwise, all the other parts are same, right? Now let's try to see what we have. So now for this we need tau max or allowable shear stress, right? We can calculate that. So we need to know, first thing we need to know is which, let's write that somewhere. So what we need to know, let's write that. What we should know. First we need to know T max allowable shear stress, right? Or T allowable stress, right? Okay. Then we have to calculate this. This is the way what we have to find. C, we already know C. So we know, once we know this, we know this ND and ND. So bending moment and twisting moment. Now to bending moment, as I said, bending moment will be load into this distance will be bending moment, and twisting moment is torque. Right? Now torque, how to find out? So basically we need to find out torque, bending moment, and allowable shear stress to solve this problem. Right? So this is the formula we will be using. How we will do that? First, find out allowable shear stress. T allowable or allowable shear is 0.5 SYT upon. If I actually calculated that 0.5 into 380, 190 will come to divided by factor 53. So this will come to 63.33, right? Newton per mm square. Right. So now we know that tau allowable is, let's round that somewhere here. Tau allowable we got as 63.33 Newton per mm square. Right. Let me just verify. This is not Newton per mm square. Tau allowable is 63.33. Okay, so now we know allowable shear stress. Now this first part is done. Okay, now we need to find out bending moment and twisting moment, right? Now how we will do that? First, let's find out bending moment. Tell me, bending moment at bearing. So bending moment when will be maximum? Bending moment here will be 0. It is overhanging. Here it will be maximum, right? The bending moment will be maximum at the bearing. And what is that? It will be P1 or Pt plus Ts plus W into distance, right? This is the bending moment, like the total load on the shaft plus multiplied by the distance, that is 250. Right? What is total load? This is 3000 tight slide. Slide is 1000 plus 500. It becomes 4500 into length is 250. So that is 250 is quarter of it. So 4500 into 250. So it's a quarter of this thing. So it comes down to 1125 into 10 raised to 3. 1125 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. This is a moment, right? So it will be Newton. This is all these are in Newton and this is in Hamilton. So Newton Hamilton with the MV. So we got MV as MV as 1125 into 10 raised to 3 Newton Hamilton. Okay. Right? So we got the bending moment. Now let's try to find out twisting moment. Right? What is twisting moment? Twisting moment means what? We have to find out the torque. Right? We have to find out the torque. How we now we power? We use 1 to 2 by 8 upon 60. Here we can find out torque is the RPM and power. But here power is not given, RPM is not given. So how to find the torque? It's very simple basically. On the pulleys, basically we compare this. Generally what we do, we get power, from that we get the torque, and then we calculate the diameter of the pulley or tensions, right? But because we know this, we have given. Now this, if we consider this pulley, right? This is tight side, this is slack side, and this is R, right? So torque is equal to basically load into radius, right? Now what is the load? I'd say at any side, like if we have a tight side load and slack side load, so we have, how this load will be PT minus DS into R, right? So we have this 3000 minus 1000 into R is 500. So it becomes 2000 into 500. So it becomes 5 into 10, 100. So 1000 into 10 raised to 3, right? Equals 1000 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So we know torque is MT 1000 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So let's try to plot that. Okay, let me just move this thing so that we know we are plotting it, right? So let's try to plot this. So here twisting moment is, if we go from this side, here bending moment is 0. And it will be like this, and this will be 1125 into 10 raised to 3 Newton mm, and torque will be like this, and here it is 1000 into 10 raised to 3 Newton mm. So this is how the diagrams will look like. So we have the bending moment, we have twisting moment or the torque. Okay, let's come back to problem. Now we have all the information whatever we need. What we need allowable shear stress, we know we need bending moment, we need twisting moment to find out the diameter, right? And see factor of inside diameter, outside diameter. We know we have all this information now. So now let's try to go to solving this problem. Let's try to solve this problem. Now we know this equation tau allowable, whatever we use, tau allowable or tau max is tau max is tau allowable. But we'll write that here. Tau max is equal to 16 upon 5 dO raised to 1 minus 3 raised to 4 root of MV square plus MV. Now let's try to put those values. Tau allowable is 63.33 is equal to 16 upon 5 dO cube 1 minus C is given as 0.6 raised to 4 root of MD square. MD square is 1125 into 10 raised to 3 square of that plus 1000 into 10 raised to 3 square of that root of that. Let me just verify whether we put all things correctly. I think we are fine. So now once we solve this, we get outside diameter. Try to solve this equation. This is 63.33, not 6333. So we'll get the outside diameter as 51.81. 51.81 mm. And once we know this now, C is equal to di upon dO is equal to 0.6. So di is equal to 0.6 of dO. It is 51.81 into 0.6. So it comes down to 31.09. Now, with this equation, now after solving this problem, we know inside diameter of the shaft will be 31.09. Now, outside diameter of the shaft will be 51. So these are the two answers to our problem. Right? So this is how we can do a design of a hollow shaft on the straight basis. Everything else will remain same. Only thing is now we have this. Just remember, apart from the standard design, 1 minus c raised to 4 will be the extra factor for the design. This is DO, outside diameter we take it here, and this factor will be 1 minus c raised to 4. Otherwise, the design procedure is all the same. Okay.
So I hope now you guys, we have gone through the numerical for both torsional rigidity as well as numerical for design of a hollow shaft. Okay. So I hope now almost all part of the shaft design of a shaft is clear. So we have another, what is it, 7 minutes. So quickly we'll go through whatever we learned till today, and because from the next lecture we'll do design of keys and design of coupling, flange coupling we'll do. So that will be the next in the next lecture we'll start that. So to wrap up design of a shaft, we will try to go through whatever we did or whatever we understood till today. Okay. So first we found out what are the different stresses, and then again we had a revision on that, and then we went through. Okay, let me. I'm not sharing my screen with you. Okay, let me share my screen. So okay. So first we gone through different stresses, and then we revised or revisited the bending equation and torsion equation. Bending equation we got sigma b is equal to 32 mb upon pi d cube, right? And from the torsional equation there are three parts: T upon J is equal to tau upon R is equal to G theta by L. We use first two parts, T upon J is equal to tau upon R, for the design on the strength basis. And with that we used, two different kinds of maximum principal stress theory and maximum shear stress theory. And then the first and third part we use for the design on the torsional rigidity basis. T upon J is equal to G theta upon L. Right. So we went through these equations, then we came up with this, tau is equal to 16 mt upon pi d cube. We also know for the torsional rigidity, the theta in degrees is equal to 584 mtl upon gd raised to 4, right? So we saw that. Then we basically see now the design of a shaft is on a static load, torsional rigidity, and lateral rigidity. We have seen design of a shaft on the what you can say strength basis. That is, we use maximum shear stress theory. Tau max is equal to 16 upon pi d cube, root of mb square plus mt square. For hollow shaft, only thing added, the d will be do, the outside diameter, multiplied by 1 minus c raised to 4, right? So this is the design of a shaft on the strain basis. Tau max, how we find that out? It is half of SYT divided by factor of safety. Then we have seen the ASME code also design. Basically, they have some factors multiplied by each. Everything is multiplied by some factors to consider keyholes and all those what I can say different kinds of. For the keyholes, the values is reduced by 0.25. Whatever we get tau allowable, it is 30% of SYT or 18% of SUT, and we multiply our that by 0.75, or we reduce it by 25% for the keyways, right? And then we use the same formula. Allowable shear stress is equal to 16 upon pi d cube into root of MB will have a factor KB MB square, and MT will have a factor of KT MT square. Where this KB and KT are what? Those are the combined shock and fatigue factor for bending moment and torsion moment. So those factors are generally they are given in your numerical, right? But they are not given, then this is what we will assume. So for gradually applied, for suddenly applied and heavy shock, what are these factors? We talked about it. Then we took a look at the few examples. We took a numericals for design of a shaft on a strain basis. Then we went through the design of a shaft on torsional rigidity, and we found out. We take a couple of examples to find out the diameter of the shaft on torsional rigidity basis. That equation d raised to 4 is equal to pi t4 mtl upon g theta. Then we also went through the